everybody!
Hi.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
I'm Drew.
And welcome to HurdShowcase. So, we're actually going to upload 2 videos this week. We're usually going to do 1.
Maybe.
Usually 1. Hopefully. So we did our last video introducing ourselves with 25 questions each. And today we are actually going to do a recap of 2017's D23 Expo and make some predictions, educated guesses
as to what we're going to hear about this weekend.
So, yay.
I'm going to say this now because we may not publish this until after this announcement has come out. We are filming this before Disney's big reveal, so anything we say is said prior to this knowledge, and anything we say could easily change in less than 24 hours. So with that out of the way, we'll start by recapping the 2017 Disney Expo, D23 Expo, real quick.
For those of you who don't actually know what D23 is, it's basically DisneyCon.
Yeah.
It's Comic-Con for everything Disney.
Yeah.
But lots of big news is announced. There's 3 days, several panels. One's going to be movies. But the big one that we're going to talk about is Sundays, which is parks. We're mainly going to focus on Disney World because we're East Coasters, and we've been to Disneyland a few times, but we're not big on the news there.
Yeah, I will touch on Disneyland and the rest of the world a little bit, but the focus of this video is really going to be on Walt Disney World and what's coming up there, we think, what we're going to speculate. So Disneyland in Anaheim, they kicked off D23 2 years ago, with Galaxy's Edge. Lots of time was spent on Galaxy's Edge. Yes. And as we know, Galaxy's Edge is open in Disneyland and opening in Disney World at the end of August.
A couple days, actually, next week.
We've also done a little bit of research today on Galaxy's Edge, and I wouldn't be shocked if they touched on it, but they've already announced it on the Disney Parks blog that the second attraction at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Rise of the Resistance, is opening on December 5th in Walt Disney World and January 17th, 2020 in Disneyland.
I'm not surprised that it's opening in Disney World first.
I feel like they threw them a bone because it opened in Disneyland originally first.
Nothing against you guys in Disneyland.
Yeah,
I'm just making an observation.
Yeah, so that's coming. I wouldn't expect to hear a lot on Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, but there is going to be Star Wars in D23, and we'll touch on that after the recap. They went into Mickey's Runaway Railway was announced. There's a new theme song that's supposed to be just as nostalgic and get stuck in your head like it's a small world. So more to come on that, I'm sure. That is set to open spring 2020. And they started to touch on Epcot, which, not to jump ahead, I feel like that's going to be a bulk of this parks panel at D23 this year is going to be like building Epcot.
The major stuff.
So they really founded this plan for Epcot in 3 ways: that it's true to Walt's vision, it's timeless and relevant for families, and all based on family feedback, which in a nutshell is it's great, but where's the kid-friendly stuff? So Here comes the kid-friendly stuff. They announced the Remy's Ratatouille Adventure, which is currently in Disneyland Paris.
If you have the chance to go on YouTube, a lot of people have uploaded ride-through videos, which is one of our favorite things to do. It's great. I can't wait for it.
It's going to be cool. I don't expect a lot to come out of this at the new D23, only because it's a carbon clone from Paris. Mm-hmm. So if you've seen it there, you're going to see it here. All we know, according to the opening schedule, is that it's moving ahead of schedule, which is cool.
So they might do an opening day or opening soon.
They also did a new Circle Vision for China, and they formally announced Guardians of the Galaxy e-ticket roller coaster, which, not to spoil later, but I will touch on that. They ended Epcot with a couple of interesting tidbits that I do want to touch on. They said, in more or less terms, more to come on World Showcase, which has got me really excited for this D23. But they also ended that with the revamp of Mission Space, which is now open with the new green team and the revamped orange team. And they also announced the Mission Space restaurant. And I have a feeling we're going to hear more about that in this weekend with probably an official name and opening date. It is going to be this year.
It's supposed to be this year, and there's only been one or two pieces of concept art and an announcement about the chef and kind of what the food's going to be.
Yeah, and the wine selection and the beer selection, which is going to be awesome. Then we move into Magic Kingdom, and the big card here that was played was the Tron coaster coming to Magic Kingdom.
Again, ride through.
Yeah, do a ride through on that.
You won't be disappointed. It'll get you so excited for it.
I'm gonna speed ahead on these next couple bits because it doesn't really apply to what we're gonna talk about. They announced Marvel's New York hotel,
lots of
in Paris. They also announced the Star Wars hotel, the Riviera Resort, minivans.
Which is beautiful, by the way.
Minivan announcement was confirmed, as well as the Skyliner. Fun fact: they did announce that new theater in Main Street for the Magic Kingdom, which was
which was
subsequently scrapped. It felt like 2 weeks after they announced it.
It was that long ago that they announced Minivan and Skyliner. How crazy is that?
And then they jumped into the cruise line, which we know there's 3 new ships coming in, and they kind of ended it with a couple interesting things that I think is going to really set the stage for this D23. They did a promo for Toy Story Land, which is now open.
Super cute.
And they ended it with Marvel Land coming to Disney's California Adventure with a Spider-Man ride and some more Avengers overlay. Obviously, I think that would take out A Bug's Life. And they've already started to re-theme Hollywood Land with Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. They ended it by giving everybody passes for priority seating for the new Fantasmic.
Oh, that's right.
In Disneyland, which premiered that night. So
which was great.
So that's where 2017 ended.
Yep.
Now we're gonna pick up from there and where we think 2019 is gonna take us.
So, this is all based off of
the rumor mill.
Rumors.
What Disney's announced.
Yes, Disney has announced a little bit. Actually, they've announced
quite a bit
the last few months.
We're gonna squash a couple of things as well. And basically how the format's going to go is we're going to go park by park in Disney World. We'll end a little bit with some Disneyland stuff and some miscellaneous stuff. But again, we're focusing really on the 4 main parks at Walt Disney World. So kicking it off with the original, with the Magic Kingdom, I'm fully expecting some sort of Tron update.
Yes.
Nothing major, I don't think.
Possible opening date.
Maybe an opening date. Maybe if they're going to differentiate it from Shanghai, but I doubt it. It's probably going to be just a carbon copy. So they'll probably say, hey, it's still coming. In addition to Tron, I have heard a few rumors out there. They may revamp the Tomorrowland Speedway and make that Tron as well, which, quite frankly, any facelift you can do to that ride, I welcome it.
I feel like Tomorrowland really needs a facelift. So hopefully they're going to take Tron, build around it, and make Tomorrowland basically Tron-esque.
Yeah, and sticking in Tomorrowland, I would expect just to hear a lot about it. There's a lot of vacant space there right now. Stitch's Great Escape is dead. To some of y'all, that might be a good thing. To me, not so much. I actually kind of fancied it. So that's gone. In my opinion, Monsters, Inc.'s Laugh Floor is getting a little outdated for its time.
Definitely.
So maybe it's time for something new. Obviously, the Wreck-It Ralph rumors are still persisting about going into Stitch's Great Escape, as well as a possible update to Carousel of Progress, which Disney actually just announced not long ago.
That they're going to wait until after the 50th.
It's going to be 2023, which is the 100-year anniversary of the founding of the Walt Disney Company. So I can respect that to a certain degree because it was Walt's personal creation. Speaking of the 50th anniversary, this is going to be the last D23 before we get to the 50th anniversary. The next one after this is going to be 2021, which would be the 50th anniversary of Magic Kingdom.
Basically in the midst of it.
So anything that they're going to announce is going to be for the 50th anniversary this coming D23. And I can't beg for this enough. Disney, please announce a nighttime parade at the Magic Kingdom.
Please. So one of our favorite things to listen to, this is not going to be a sponsor or anything like that, Sorcerer Radio. It plays Disney music, Disney Parks music. It's the best thing to listen to, especially when you're really missing the parks. But they also have podcasts. One of our favorite podcasts is DW60. I think you can listen to him on Spotify,
Yeah, Spotify,
and other
Apple,
things.
a bunch of other streaming services.
He has been keeping accounts. Jeff Davis has been keeping account of how many days it's been since the Main Street Electrical Parade left the Magic Kingdom, and nothing has been announced yet. It's been how long has it been?
We're well into the thousands days now, so that's over 2 years without a nighttime parade.
I think it's almost 1,100. It's kind of
it's getting
approaching
close,
it.
Yeah.
So it's been that long.
Yeah, I don't know what Disney's planning here. I don't know if they're gonna bring Paint the Night,
which would be great,
over to Magic Kingdom. I don't know if they're gonna do something new. I don't know if they're gonna do. I don't know if they're gonna do anything. Quite frankly, it's long overdue since Main Street Electrical left, and quite frankly, even before then, when Spectre of Magic was dismantled. So again, Disney, do something here.
Please, Disney, we're begging you. Please, for all our sanity.
For Magic Kingdom, just to kind of kill a couple things that Disney's already come out and said no, unless they completely flip the script and lied to us, which I doubt.
Which isn't like Disney.
The rumor mill was that Moana was going to take over the Tiki Room.
Nope.
And that the Country Bears was going to go to Toy Story. You could argue that both those things should happen, but no, they're not happening.
I don't think Moana. I don't know that would. I mean, it would fit if they did it right, but I don't know.
So
no.
Next on the list is Epcot, but I feel like Epcot's going to be the bulk of this. So if it's cool with you, let's skip Epcot.
We'll skip that.
Going to studios, I don't expect a lot to come out of this park for this D23. You're probably going to hear a couple things about Galaxy's Edge. If they're going to do anything else with it, you can maybe argue a sit-down restaurant, but I don't expect much. You'll probably get something out of Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Yes,
They don't usually announce opening dates, but I would anticipate a season year announcement. Maybe some concept art or a tease of that whimsical song that they're going to announce. Music. I'm curious. This is no rumor. This is me just speaking from my mind, essentially. Is Hollywood Studios, the way it's laid out right now, is the rest of the rides that are there safe? And by that I mean Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, Muppet Vision 3D. Are those going to survive this overlay that has happened to Hollywood Studios? And I don't think they're done. The only thing really that I would expect to see in terms of new stuff, if they do something with the animation courtyard, with the Walt Disney Presents, Voyage of the Little Mermaid, and the Star Wars Launch Bay, I can see them doing something with it. I've heard rumors that it's going to be Pixar themed, probably Monsters Inc. I don't know. I think they should do something with that area. Yeah, but
I feel like it's very underutilized, and I feel like Voyage of the Little Mermaid it's old.
With all eyes on Epcot, though, I don't know if they're gonna have the time to announce it. Knowing Disney, they'll probably keep Voyage of the Little Mermaid. They'll probably keep Walt Disney Presents, and turn Star Wars Launch Bay into a character meet and greet of some sort for characters that you don't typically see. Yeah. That's really all that I think for studios. Yeah. Again, same kind of thing with Animal Kingdom. Not much. They just launched Pandora. But to that point, the Lion King live action was wildly successful. So, they could do something with that. Obviously, Festival of the Lion King is there.
Yes, which is a great show.
Very popular show. I don't think that's going anywhere. I've heard a couple of rumors out in the rumor mill that there's a Lion King dark ride. The more creative couple rumors I've heard that I haven't had time to dig into this, but I'm gonna put them out there because I think they're both really cool, especially the one. Yes. Dinoland USA is rumored to be going extinct.
I see what you did there.
If that happens, I've heard two things that might replace it. One makes more sense than the other. Indiana Jones coming to Animal Kingdom.
That was kind of an older one.
Maybe.
The way you can kind of explain that one is that the Indiana Jones ride in Disneyland is almost exactly the same as Dinosaur.
It uses the same technology.
It's the same technology, same very similar track layout.
The other one that I really like, and the more I think about it, the more I'm going, that would work really well.
That would work so
well. Is
well.
if you took out Dinoland and made it Zootopia, the Time Rover can be converted to a ZPD vehicle really easily.
Yes.
And do a really cool dark ride through Zootopia.
The like pre-show building lends itself well too.
Yeah, it could be the police headquarters for sure.
Oh, that'd be great.
Again, do I think that's going to come out this year? Probably not. Again, all eyes on Epcot right now. But something to think about for the future if they do decide to revisit Animal Kingdom down the road. A couple other points. I don't think anything's going to come from this, but Joe Rohde, I know it's in the first video too. Please fix the Yeti.
Fix the Yeti. Disco Yeti.
And I'm still not satisfied with Rivers of Light. But at this point, I usually don't like to criticize without a solution, but I don't have one.
We have not been able to figure out. We saw Rivers of Light one of the last times we were there. We liked it. It was beautiful. The music is of course it's
astounding.
Disney. It's beautiful. But we can't. It just didn't quite have that like Disney spark, and we couldn't figure out. Still can't figure out what it is that it needs. It feels like it's lacking something, missing something. They revamped it to add Disney characters, which I felt helped it.
Yeah,
it had some of the Disney soundtrack.
It went from a C to a B minus, so I'm still waiting for that A plus to come through.
And we can't figure it out. So if you figure out what Rivers of Light is missing, what it needs, let us know in the comments or on Instagram, because we'd like to know if maybe you're putting into words what our heads are trying to tell us.
So before, again, I'm deliberately skipping Epcot till the end because it's going to have the most content. It's going to take a long time, and quite frankly, we could probably make a part 2 to this video just on Epcot.
Probably.
We'll do it in one go.
Yes.
Miscellaneous stuff around the Walt Disney World Resort. Could there be some sort of water park update from either Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach? Maybe. We haven't heard much from either of those in a long time.
Yeah.
So they could spring something there.
I mean, you have their usual fall, winter time refurb every year, but
I personally haven't seen anything on the rumor mill, but to the same point, I haven't looked.
Yes.
I think you're going to get a lot of resort updates here.
Yes.
Particularly Riviera is about to open this year.
Yes, it looks beautiful.
In the 2017 D23 Expo, they did mention that there's going to be some sort of rooftop restaurant where you can see the fireworks and nighttime spectaculars for both Epcot and Studios. So I'd like them to touch on that, kind of talk through the theming a little bit.
But they'll put the music in through, like they do at Trader Sam's in Polynesia.
It was recently announced that the land that was River Country is finally going to be utilized, and it's going to go away. They're going to put a Seven Seas Lagoon Resort. I believe it's not named at this point. I haven't heard that it's got a name. Maybe they won't tell you what it is. I'm curious if they do put a resort in the Magic Kingdom Resort area, are they going to reroute the monorail tracks to that resort? Personally, that's a lot of work, and it's going to derail a pretty hefty bit of Disney transportation. So I'm not sure how you would do it if they decided to, but that's why we watched D23 to find out. I did say Star Wars would be a big part of D23, and I think it's going to be around that hotel. They apparently leaked the prices for the stay at the Star Wars hotel, and they price it like staying on a cruise ship.
Yes.
So it's
2 day, 3 night.
Yeah, I'm not gonna break your guys' hearts with the price yet. Just know, if you book it, don't plan on going into the parks. It's meant to be a fully immersive Star Wars experience, similar to Westworld on HBO. Utilize it that way. I'm sure if it's anything like what they did in California Adventure, that Star Wars hotel will have an entrance right in the Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
Take advantage of that if you're going to go to the parks, but immerse yourself into Star Wars because that's the only way you're going to get your money's worth out of this one. Yes. So, on the Springs.
Real quick. I'm sure they had made an announcement about food trucks coming in. A couple food trucks. The cookie dough one looks so good. They have an edible cookie dough food truck. Need to try it. But the biggest thing I'm really, really, really hoping that they announce is the new Cirque du Soleil. Because they ended, oh my goodness, what was it? Lanuba, that was it. I could not remember the name.
They ended Lanuba, and
when was that? Was
a couple years ago.
Christmas?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Christmas or New Year's, like last year, 2 years ago.
So
they ended it, and they had announced that it was going to be something with like some Disney characters or like Disney music. So I'm curious if there's going to be something about that. which would be really cool because La Nuba was so good. We sat front row when we saw it. It was amazing.
It was really good.
I'm looking forward to seeing and hearing and going and seeing what they're gonna do with that space. Be awesome.
Yeah. Before we hit the big time with Epcot, I do want to go out west to California. The one thing that I know we're going to hear about because it's happening in California, in Paris, and I want to say Shanghai because of course it's happening in Shanghai. is a Marvel Land coming to these parks. So, do I think that you're going to hear more about that? For sure. I don't know what they're going to announce. Like I said, I haven't been in tune with the whole West Coast rumor mill.
Yes.
A Spider-Man attraction supposedly in the works. Cool. Paris is getting
us to come back.
Paris is getting an Iron Man roller coaster. They're doing a Rocket roller coaster remodel in Paris. So rumors that they might do that in studios as well with the Aerosmith deal running out. Incredibles is what I'm hearing, but we'll see.
Epcot!
The experimental prototype community of tomorrow, or every paycheck comes on Thursday.
The new symbols. They had already announced this. We talked about it briefly with our tattoos.
Our first video.
We know that there's symbols coming. Can't wait to see them. Hopefully they'll be similar and kind of vintage.
I want them to have a vintage look to them personally.
But I also want them to somehow feel new.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any way that they can do that.
I want them to be awesome enough that I get a matching tattoo on my other arm. So we'll see.
Guardians update. Hopefully Guardians update. Maybe video, ride through, concept art.
I would anticipate Guardians getting a good bit of attention here just because the ride theme is supposedly very unique. I think they said it's a reverse launching coaster.
Which would be so easy.
So I would like to see, especially with the pressure that Universal Studios is ramping on them, I would like to see them say, hey, here's our new e-ticket. I see your Hagrid's motorbike and I raise you Guardians of the Galaxy because it does this. Before we jump into this next bit, and it's in our notes, it's what does the future hold for Future World? Number one, I think it's going to be renamed.
Yes, it's very possible.
I don't think Future World is a fitting name for it anymore.
No.
Just as Tomorrowland is not becoming a fitting name over the Magic Kingdom. I think what they call it, what's the rumor we heard today? Epcot Center World or Epcot World Center?
Epcot World Center.
Something
I
like
think it
that.
was something along that.
I'm for that name change, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it would work really well and complement World Showcase. Here's what we know about Epcot right now, besides getting new symbols. We know Innovations East and West are going. We know Club Cool is going, but apparently that's coming back in some shape or form.
I think they said they're going to move it.
Yeah. Mouse Gear is closing, but it's coming back in some way, shape, or form.
It's being refurbished, is what I heard.
Electric Umbrella's going as well as the Fountain of Nations.
Which makes me sad.
They're getting a whole new entrance to Epcot, so the camera shop, the Art of Disney, all of that is going. It's going to be an unrecognizable park in less than 2 years.
Which is exciting. It needs it.
So
I really feel that it needs a revamp. And just from the concept art I've seen, it looks like it's going to be absolutely beautiful. And they're going to do a great job with it.
So
I trust you to say
a couple rumor killers again. Somebody, I think the same people that put out the news about Moana and Country Bears and all that other stuff, came out and said that the Land Pavilion and the Seas Pavilion were going to be going away.
Nope.
Disney flat out refuted that rumor.
I think either that day or the very next day they came out and said absolutely not.
No. I think it would be foolish to retheme either of those right now with Soarin' being as popular as it is, definitely. And the Seas with Nemo and Friends being a real kid-friendly part of Epcot when that's kind of what they want to go for. Why would they take that out? Okay, so what else? A couple things that we've heard may happen. Journey into Imagination. Obviously, that's your walk-on ride, right? You don't really have to wait for that. There's talks of a retheme around that.
That makes sense.
But I don't think Figment's going anywhere.
I was going to say, Figment's been really big with merch for
years.
for food and wine and flower and garden. He's on merch a lot. So I feel like he's really gotten popular the last decade or so.
He's really come back into the fold.
So I feel like it would be unwise of Disney to shut him out.
So staying in Future World, obviously Disney's kept it kind of hush-hush of what they're planning for these new spots. So I don't want to speculate what they're going to say. I just want to listen and hear what they have to say. But I can anticipate a good chunk of this presentation being about Future World and what's going to happen to it.
Yes.
Especially around Spaceship Earth. I do know, and we all know if you've ridden Spaceship Earth as of late, it needs an update. It needs a little bit of love. The rumor is that they're going to start the ride at the invention of the printing press and go from there, which would leave more futuristic scenes at the end. That's a start. In my opinion, it's not enough. I would go for a full...
I thought that they were just revamping from there. That's where they're going to start.
Oh, maybe. But
I think that's what I had heard.
I would do a massive overhaul to that attraction.
Yes.
It does need it in a really bad way. Anything else? Oh, yeah, the Mission Space Restaurant. I would put money on it that they're going to announce that opening date.
Opening date and name. We don't have a name, and hopefully more concept art or something more about it, because it's supposed to be opening this year, but we haven't heard very much.
This sounds like an exact Disney ploy to hold us off till D23. I would be stunned to not hear something about it.
Yes.
All right, so we're good in Future World, right? Or whatever they're going to call it.
Yes, they're going to put a new play area in there.
Oh, yeah, we know about the play area. They're finally doing something really cool with Wonders of Life.
Yay!
Wonders of Life was the Food and Wine Festival Center for many years, but aside from that, it's not used. It's wasted space. It's wasted. It's just wasted. It's a waste. To see something come into that, I would anticipate another announcement on that and kind of what they're thinking.
I think it's supposed to have like little games and rides and stuff like that. It's supposed to be like a whole huge play area.
It kind of reminds me of, and I'm showing my age a little bit here, Millennium Village, when they did that in World Showcase near the Millennium. They just had different stands with different countries set up, and I can kind of see something similar happening here, just in a different theming, obviously. Speaking of countries in the World Showcase,
possible new one.
Let's go into World Showcase. I think it's a long time for this, and in 2017, I was anticipating them to announce it, and they didn't. So I'm doubling down. On this.
And it's not the IKEA Pavilion.
No, it should be, but it's not. I believe Brazil is a foregone conclusion that Brazil is going to come to the World Showcase. I heard someone say today between Germany and Italy. Sure, I don't know where else to put it.
I think there was something about that they've raised enough money to do it.
Yeah, they have a sponsor in Brazil. I'm curious who that is. Yeah. To see what that would be, but no attraction is planned for Brazil from what I'm hearing. But that's par for the course. There's only a couple.
There's gonna be food.
Yeah, there'll be food.
There'll be food.
So yeah, that's the big one from World Showcase. I think you're gonna see that get announced. You're gonna hear a lot about Illuminations and what's replacing it. So we know Illuminations is gone September 30th. Yes. And then Epcot Forever is kind of the... It's kind of a filler show. It's a filler show. I don't think it's going to be a filler show. I think it's going to be brilliant. But I think it's also going to... You're also going to get a tease of what they're planning.
Yes.
Because some of that technology they're going to use again.
We only say filler show because it's between Illuminations and whatever is going to come after. But it's going to be there for, what, a year?
About a year.
Year to 2 years. So it's kind of just taking that space... But it's going to be a spectacular show.
So I would anticipate, we're calling the thing that's replacing Epcot Forever. We don't know what it's called. I would expect that to change.
I would expect them to announce date, maybe. Date-ish. Give some concept art or tease or music or something for the new show. Definitely the name.
I would also maybe anticipate Epcot Forever getting a small... tidbit. They've teased a bit of it already. I wouldn't be surprised they tease it just a little bit more. A couple other rumors that I'm hearing, but I don't put too much weight into any of these as much as some of them might
rumors.
make sense. I've heard a Mary Poppins carousel type ride is
I
coming
didn't hear
to the...
carousel.
Yeah, I heard carousel
That
today.
would make sense. I thought you said dark ride earlier today. That doesn't make sense. The carousel, yeah, that would make sense.
Well, I mean, you have the animatronics from Great Movie Ride if they preserve them, so a dark ride could make sense in that regard.
It's true.
It's
very easy.
You could repurpose that entire scene.
This is true.
So, but I've heard carousel coming to the UK Pavilion. I don't know where you'd put it.
I don't either.
I would guess maybe near the toy shop there, maybe in the gardens.
Kind of knock down some of those trees and foliage.
Maybe. It actually would work there with the park benches. It would be very old-timey amusement park
Very
feel.
pretty.
With the British Revolution rock and roll coming behind it.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Again, I don't put a lot of weight into this one either, but if they do this,
oh, I hope they do.
This goes right into their kid-friendly plan.
Oh, Grand Fiesta Tour needs Coco. It needs Coco. It needs an overlay of Coco because that movie, not only was that movie just spectacular, it's beautiful. It fits. And they've even done some of the stuff inside the pavilion about Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, which is literally what Coco revolves around, is this holiday.
I mean, it does write itself.
And they sell the merch inside, too.
In Disneyland, at the Pirates of the Caribbean ride, it's the same type of thing. You ride through the restaurant Blue Bayou, just like you ride through the San Angel Inn here. Mm-hmm. There's a time in Pirates where you go back in time of the Pirates. They usually do it by going down a waterfall. Mm-hmm. They don't usually do it. They always do it by going down a waterfall. But there's a
tunnel.
Yeah, there's a
tunnel at the very beginning.
And there's a way that you can do that same type of magic here and make it Coco themed.
Yes.
That you go from the land of the living to the land of the dead. To me, it just makes sense. And it would be something to add to Epcot for the 50th anniversary. But that is our thoughts on D23. Before we go, a couple of cheap plugs. Follow us on Instagram at DizHurds. And to get notified when we go and make some new content for you guys, subscribe, like the video.
Why are you doing this with your hands?
I don't know. I'm excited. So, hit a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. We are going to be doing things once a week usually, and it's not always going to be
just this blabbering.
We have a couple of fun things to go over, and obviously when we're in the parks, there'll be videos from the parks. Yeah.
Hey, we might even do a live stream video. Who knows?
I don't know how to do live stream videos on YouTube,
but there's a way to do it.
We'll figure it out. If not, there'll be content. Again, drop a like, hit us up in the comments. We'd love to chat with you guys. Yeah. Make some new friends, and I think that's it for now. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us on HurdShowcase, and we'll see you soon. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.